Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I am your host Vincent LaRose, and today is Monday. It is September 15th, I believe, and the Yankees are off today. We're coming out of a good series win against Boston, going to Minnesota to start that series, and overall, the past 2 weeks have been great for the Yankees. Obviously, we were 4 games out of first place going into this 2 weeks, and as it ends, we are still 4 games out from Toronto. We still have the first wild card spot. You know, we beat Boston. We took the series against them, so we have a game and a half lead on them for the number 1 wild card spot. And overall, I'm pretty content with this last series and this last 2 weeks. Like I said, going into the 2 weeks, we were 4 games out, and it was really just our final gauntlet of the season before the postseason starts. Every single team we played in these last 12 games are going to be in the postseason, more likely than not. Obviously, starting with Houston, that we took 2 out of 3 there. Should have taken 3, but you know, we'd still take 2 out of 3 there. And going back to New York, going against Toronto, we take 2 out of 3 against Toronto. The Tigers are the only team that could really suppress us. Truthfully, they just annihilated our bullpen. Our bullpen was terrible that series, so we take 1 of 3 there. And then going into Boston, the biggest what's called series of the entire season, a preview of postseason baseball. More than likely, we're probably going to face them in the wild card series. It hasn't been obviously to be determined whether that'll be in Yankee Stadium or it'll be in Fenway Park. But the Yankees take 2 out of 3 in Boston, going 7-5 in this 12-game set, ending the season above 500 against teams above 500, which is quite impressive. Not a lot of teams can do that. We still struggle within the division. I believe we are 6 games under 500 against teams in our division now. We still have 7 games left against teams in our division, as we have 7 more games against the Orioles, but the Orioles have been playing quite well as of late, so we shall see how those series goes. I believe that one starts I think we play the White Sox after the Twins. I'm not 100% sure when that one starts, but we'll go over the Fenway series. To start Fenway, we take Game 1, which is nice. Game 1, was it Fried or was it... No, it was not Fried. Game 1 was Heel. I don't know why I blanked there. And because he pitched amazing. He went 6 no-hit innings. He had 5, I think he had 5 walks, maybe 4. The walks are always there for Heel. He's not going to stop walking people, unfortunately, as we've learned by now. But he pitched well enough to get us through 6, giving up no hits, no runs, obviously, and leading us to a win. Aaron Judge started the game with a home run and off Giolito, and it was just a good game overall. Offense did what they had to do to win the game. The bullpen came in, which is something they haven't been doing recently, and did what they needed to do to win the game. I know Fernando Cruz ends up giving up the 1 run, and one of the 2 hits they end up giving up. But we win the game 4-1. So nothing to be upset about. We scored 4 runs in every game of this. No, I'm sorry, Game 2 we scored 5. But just a good game overall. Bednar came in and shut the door 1, 2, 3. I think something the bullpen really, really needed. And then Game 2, of course, that's when Fried takes the mound. Fried struggles a little bit, nothing crazy. He gives up 2 runs through 7. I think it was 7 innings. Not that he struggled, but he put himself in a lot of jams that he ended up getting out of. But he pitched well enough, and then the bullpen did exactly what they needed to. They pitched well enough. They only gave up 1 run. Same thing as the first game. Yankees ended up scoring 5, and the big at bat for me this series was Cody Bellinger against Aroldis Chapman. That 10-pitch at bat with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Judge is on second after his walk and stolen base, and Bailey's able to hit that double off the wall, which was huge for the Yankees. Huge. Gets that extra run and gets us a 2-run lead for Bednar to come in once again and close the door. So it was just a great... That was the closest game of this series besides maybe last night, but that one I think was the nail-biter to the very end. And Cody Bellinger just does what Cody Bellinger does, man. That's a really good at-bat against a really, really good closer. Aroldis Chapman has been really good this season. To be able to do that off the Green Monster, just quite impressive. And then, of course, Game 3. We have Warren against Crochet. So we face their 1, 2, 3. I mean, we kind of did it in backwards order. It'll be Crochet, Bayo, and then Giolito. But so we faced the 3-2-1. But we faced the 3-2-1. They didn't even get Rodon this series. Obviously, he was our 3. They got our 1 and our 3, and then probably our. I don't want to say probably our 5 to this point. Warren has really much struggled against teams above 500. But anyways, game 3 we go in. We face Crochet. Judge gets Crochet again, 1 for 3. He struck him out twice, but 1 for 3 in baseball is a 333. So, he won that game against, Crochet won. At the end of the day, Crochet won. But I think Judge wins the battle there. Judge is now at 47 home runs. I'll get into the MVP talks a little bit later. But the Yankees still end up scoring 2 runs off Crochet. They get another 2 runs against the Red Sox bullpen. And, we gave up 6 runs in the first inning. Warren gives up 6 runs in the first inning. And he's still able to go 5, which is good enough for me in the sense of, obviously you pitched a bad game. We all know the game was terribly pitched. But you're still able to work it out and go through 5 and help the bullpen a little bit, especially with an off day today. You're getting a lot of guys good rest that is needed, especially going into the series. Yankees have completely overused their bullpen this year. And since they started really hammering in the bullpen, we've had one of the worst ERAs in baseball. We have one of the worst, I think the 3rd worst bullpen ERA since the All-Star break. But a loss that obviously you don't want to lose and you want to sweep, but it's not the end of the world. We still take the series win and we still put up some sort of a fight after going down 6-0. But scoring at least 4 runs every game this series, we held the Red Sox to 1 in the first game, 3 in the second game, and then of course the 6 is where it's tough in the 3rd game. But performance I'm not upset with the Yankees. And to me, this was the series that was going to prove to me, can this team compete in the playoffs? Are they going to be able to go into a playoff series, a wild card series, which more likely we're going to get, a division series, a championship series, a World Series? Are they going to be able to actually compete against these teams? And I think these 12 games, especially this last series, really showed us that we can, and builds a lot of confidence, not only in just the team, but in the fans as well, because going into this series, even going 6-5, they were coming into the series. They were 5-4 coming into this series. To this point in this 12-game set, we really needed to win the series overall. Just prove to us that we can go, above 500 against above 500 teams, and that we can beat teams that we will likely see in the playoffs. We'll very much likely see in the playoffs. I know the Tigers are dealing with a little. I don't know the situation on Schoolball. I haven't read up on it. I know he left the game early. If the Tigers lose Schoolball, they're in a tough spot. Don't get me wrong. Their pitching is still good enough, but without year 1, once you get to a 7-game series, like year 1 is gone twice. You're losing out on an ace, a Cy Young Award winner, and likely another one this year too, back to back. I think Crochet is gonna overhaul him if he misses the rest of the season, but that's a really good pitcher to be missing. So that's tough for them. But hopefully he's fine, because I still want to see the best of the best in the postseason, of course. But for the Yankees' sake, if they do eventually go up against them, that would help us out. But overall, I'm happy with these 12-game sets. I want to speak on Devin Williams, because this is just consistently getting a weary topic. Devin Williams has thrown, I believe, 4 straight outings. He has not given up a run. And these 4 straight outings were against teams that are very good. I know he gives up a run in Houston, but after that Houston, that one run, which didn't even cost it. Did that one cost? No, they didn't really hurt us in the end. After that one run in Houston, he's been completely truthfully, not just not giving up runs, he's been lights out in those 4 straight appearances. That doesn't mean I have trust in him. Unfortunately for us, Weaver has not been great. Duvall, as we know, has been awful since we're getting him. And Bednar's really been our only lockdown guy. Cruz was really locked down, but his last couple of outings have been pretty bad. I don't know what's going on with Tim Hale. I feel like I don't see him pitch anymore. But Devin Williams is, unfortunately, he's going to have to pitch in big moments. He's going to have to pitch in big spots, whether we like it or not. So, this is a little bit of a nice sign. Hopefully he can keep this going, because he's done this a couple times this season where he's seemed to have figured it out and then fallen apart all over again. So we'll see how that goes with Devin Williams. Then you have Bednar. Of course, Bednar's been completely lights out, and I'm excited for him. I think he has to be our ninth inning man no matter what. I don't really care what the order is at this point. In the ninth inning, if we have a lead, completely he needs to go in and completely shut them down. And I feel like he's proven that. Obviously, as I said, Fernando Cruz over his last, he was really good until his last. I know he gives up 5 runs in that horrid game against the Tigers. And then he's given up a home run in each of his outings since then. I don't know. Did he pitch last night? I actually didn't watch the game last night, so I don't know if he pitched. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. But I don't think he did. Sorry about that. I don't believe he did. Because I know Blackburn was in for a minute. Oh, I thought the Yankees were off today. They're not off today. Oh, they play Minnesota tonight. I thought they were. Why did I think they were off today? At least we get Rodon tonight. But wow, that's weird. Hopefully this video will be out before that, but it is very possible it might not be. Let's see who did. Yeah, no. So, oh wow, Duvall had a clean inning last night. That's good to see. Yeah, but Cruz doesn't pitch last night, so that means each of his last outings he's given up runs or a home run, which is tough to see, obviously, because this bullpen is. I think they really need to figure this out before the postseason starts. But besides the bullpen, besides the offense, let's get into Aaron Judge. Obviously, this series, Aaron Judge passes Joe DiMaggio, and he's now the 4th all-time on the Yankees home run list. And, you know, there's talks about where does Judge place himself on the Yankees all-time list. All-time-wise, it's very hard because, you know, statistically, he's one of our better players to ever step foot or to ever wear the Yankees uniform. But, you know, there's always that ring at the end of the day, and he needs that ring. I think getting one will at least cement him when his career is over, like a top 7 maybe. I think you can put him in that boat. I think A-Rod hurt himself with the steroid stuff. But there's a lot of guys with, I mean, Yogi has 10. Jeter, Pettit. Pettit's probably not on the top 10 list, but you know, guys like that in that scenario, where they have 5 rings. So Mo is a great example of it. So Yankees have always gauged their best players off how many rings they've won. Like Ruth, Mantle, Gehrig, DiMaggio, they all won a lot. So granted, don't get me wrong, that's an age where there's a lot less teams. I think the 98 team, the 98, 99, 2000 dynasty is a lot more impressive, but it's tough. I'm not going to speak on that yet. But the big topic, the huge topic everybody's been talking about with Judge and Cal Raleigh, of course, is MVP. I'd say about a week ago, I would tell myself I think it's a lot close. I think it's very neck and neck. I think Raleigh about a week ago had the edge over Judge, but I think Judge more than likely is going to win now. Just the 2 home runs this series, you know, he's hit 6 home runs in his last 10 games or something like that. I think he's now at 47 on the year. Raleigh's at 52, I believe. How many home runs does Cal Raleigh have? But Judge is at 47 for the year. Or 48 even, 102 RBIs, 326 average, 1.125 OPS, and remember, Judge missed 10 days. If he doesn't get injured, I think he would have probably near the same amount of home runs as Raleigh has. And I get it, Raleigh plays a premier position at the catcher position, and he's played, you know, I know he started off slow at the catching position, but he's played very well behind the plate. So it's a hard conversation because it's like MVP in my eyes is the most valuable player in baseball is tough. It's a tough aspect in the sense of I think the most valuable player should have an aspect in team performance as well, because you're not valuable if your team's terrible. I'm sorry. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, you may be the best player in the league, but you're not the most valuable if your team's horrible. Judge has proved that in 2022. That team was awful awful, we still went to a championship series. So that is the most valuable player in my eyes, not a guy who is whatever. But that topic doesn't matter because Cal Raleigh has helped the Mariners into his position where they're most likely going to make the postseason. Commanding a pitching staff of that credit too as well is really impressive. That is a really good starting pitching staff. They have a good bullpen as well. Cal Raleigh has done a very, very good job. But with that being said, Judge has the edge. Right now, if the season ended right now, Judge wins the MVP. I know a lot of people are going to disagree because, again, defense. Judge has not played a lot of defense lately, as he was hurt. And Cal Raleigh is an everyday catcher and a very good everyday catcher. But I don't see how you think Raleigh's been better. I mean, okay. Think of it like this. Raleigh has 50 more at-bats than Judge does. 50. Okay. Judge missed that time. Raleigh also plays a premier position in baseball. Judge has been a DH like a quarter of the season now, and he still has a 2 more WAR than Cal Raleigh. He has 2 more WAR. So he has gotten his team 8 more wins, and Cal Raleigh has gotten his team 8.3 technically, and then Cal Raleigh 6.3. Judge is definitely the MVP in my eyes. You're wrong to think the other way. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people disagree with that. I think it's also Yankee bias as well. A lot of people just don't like the Yankees, so they don't want to see Yankee win the MVP. Judge is the better baseball player, and he's been better this season. I know Cal Raleigh has 6 more homers. 6. It's not the Aaron Judge situation and the Jose Altuve, because I know a lot of people brought that up. Well, when Jose Altuve had we're not talking about just higher average. He has a higher average, he has a higher on-base percentage, he has a higher OPS, he only has 6 less home runs. What are the RBIs wise? It's not showing me RBIs here, but he has more hits just in general. And again, Cal Raleigh has had 50 more at-bats than Judge has. And basically every number besides home runs, and I believe RBIs, I do think Raleigh has RBIs on Judge right now. What does he have? Is it gonna show me? What? Come on, baseball's fun. Don't be terrible like this. Let's see, RBIs. He has 115, so he does have 13 more RBIs than him. But stolen bases, I think Judge has even caught up with him in stolen bases as well. Let's see, Raleigh has 14. How many does Judge have? I think Judge has 13. Last 5 games. 25 stolen bases. Judge has 11. So Cal Raleigh has 3 more stolen bases than him. But Judge has more walks, higher average, higher on base percentage, higher slugging percentage, higher OPS plus. It's not close to me. Aaron Judge is the better player than Cal Raleigh. But besides that, we'll get deeper into that when the season is over. But so now, the Yankees have, I believe, 14 or 13 games left in the regular season. Not a single team we play is over 500. We have to win like 10 of these next. If we can win like 10 of these last games, we put ourselves in a better spot to win the division, although I think it's very unlikely. And we put ourselves in a really good spot to have that number 1 wild card, which I think is very, very, very important. We do have a blessing coming up. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays are playing each other, so we kind of just need one or the other team to beat up on them. We need a sweep either way. Red Sox sweep the Blue Jays, we're in a better spot to win the division, and so are the Red Sox. And if the Blue Jays sweep the Red Sox, we're in a lot better position to win the wild card to get that number 1 spot. We're going to Minnesota apparently tonight. Minnesota tonight. And then we go to Baltimore, I believe. So we are. Is it Baltimore or is it Chicago? We go to Baltimore and then Chicago's next week back at home. So we end how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 13. So the Yankees really in these last week and a half just need to finish off well, get 10 of these next 13 games. All these teams are under 500. I know the the Orioles have played well, but they really need to just get these next games and finish the season off strong going into the postseason. I want to just get a head start on it as well, because I want there to be a spot to where it's like, hey, we know we're gonna make the postseason now. We're guaranteed a postseason position. More than likely, we're gonna get a wild card spot. So let's give some pitching some days off and finagle it around to put us in our best position to have Fried, Rodon, and Heel pitching majority of the postseason. But that is where I'm going to end it today. I appreciate every single person who's watching, listening, whether you're on the the YouTube side or the podcast side. I recently did a collab with Talking Game. He's also a fellow YouTuber, does a lot content as well. He's not just baseball or Yankees, he's a whole bunch of stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, please visit his YouTube channel. It'd be much appreciated. And outside of that, that is all I got today. Let me make sure I got it right. Yes, it is Tony Talking Game. I'm sorry. If you guys want to visit his YouTube channel, we did a collab as well. But that's where I'm going to end it today. So thank you everybody for listening, watching, YouTube side, podcast side, as I just said. And I hope everybody has a wonderful morning, night, or day. Go Yankees.